Hello everybody, this is Money Mom. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about how many of the things that I learned from my father about money are no longer, unfortunately, relevant in 2022. I'm going to get right into it. My mom passed away a few years ago in her late 70s. My father is still living. He's 84, lives in Arizona. Many of you guys know this. I grew up in Minnesota. I'm from the Twin Cities. That being said, my dad was a Teamster and a truck driver. So he got married at age 22 and he retired with a full pension from the Teamsters at age 57. So he was a truck driver for about 35 years. And maybe even after that, he did a little bit of over-the-road stuff, but he really enjoyed it. It was tough, I'm going to say this, because I used to go on the road with him sometimes. It was tough to drive on those icy road conditions. I will tell you that. Sometimes that was really stressful, so he did miss that part of it. That being said, there were things that he taught me over the years that unfortunately are not relevant. One of the things my dad taught me my whole life is, number one, after you graduate from college or go to some trade school, get a really good job with benefits, because that's what you want, a 40-hour-a-week job with benefits, one really good job. Now, I'm not saying there aren't jobs out there like that. There are, but they're not plentiful like they were in, say, the 1970s when most of my growing up life was. I was born in 65. Okay, number two, this is another one. Basically, stay at the same job or same career for life. And if you work hard, you're going to be rewarded. Be loyal to the company. They'll be loyal to you. And you'll stay at the same place for your whole working career. And that's what my dad did. And many of the guys in our neighborhoods, we had many 3Mers. We had people that were electricians, people that worked at Anderson Windows, people that were Teamsters, a lot of factory people. They worked at that same job their entire life. And you just didn't have that as much anymore, nowadays. I don't know that many people that have been at the same job for, 35 years. There probably are some, but not like how I grew up hearing about. And also that it's all about loyalty. I've actually known a lot of folks over the years that have told me that they were loyal to the company they've worked with, and the company basically ended up letting them go, giving them some kind of severance package to bring in people to pay them less. And they've had to train their replacements. Or maybe their job went over to another country, things like that. So the loyalty and all of that hasn't been what it is like it was when I grew up and what my dad told me about. Number three, it was a big deal in our house, and not just money, politics, religion, money. You keep a lot of things private. You don't discuss a lot of things. And a lot of things were kind of hush-hush. And I'll be honest, I kind of miss some of that type of thing. But what I do like is the frugal community. People can go on and talk about things they're going through, and they can get support from other people, and I love that. So they may struggle with something and have some real questions about money, or maybe they feel bad because they've been overspending or they're in debt and they feel bad about it, and they get support from other people that have walked in their shoes. So I think it's really good that we can talk about money, because when we have people we can talk to about it, we can start to actually make really good changes in our life. Okay, number four, everybody needs some kind of college degree. And I do have a bachelor's degree, by the way, but back when I went to college, it was a lot less expensive. I graduated University of Wisconsin, River Falls. I don't even know if you guys know this. My degree's in sociology, minor in speech communication. Then I went for paralegal school, ended up teaching school in a private school. That being said, my college back then with everything was about $5,000 a year. That included everything. A lot more expensive now. But that being said, if you get education, then that is going to set you up for life. And with that, you're going to have the same career for life. So you go to college, you're either a nurse or a teacher. You didn't have as many choices when I graduated college in '87. So you're going to pick a career and stick with it. Okay, number five, most people are going to want to go to college. This is honestly how I grew up doing it. Okay, you go to college. You graduate when you're anywhere from age 21 to 23. I graduated when I was 22. Then I had an internship. So I graduated when I was 22. Then you move out on your own, okay? if you're not getting married. But when I went to college that summer after I graduated college, I went to so many weddings when I was 22 years old, and I was in a lot of weddings. Can anyone relate? Well, my parents were like, gee, Dawn didn't go to college for her MRS degree, didn't find the love of her life. I actually didn't get married till I was 29. My parents were so worried that I wasn't going to get married and have kids, because that was a huge goal. So you get your college degree, we'll say you're a teacher or a nurse. You get out and you get your career started, you're married. Then you're married for a few years. Then after you're married till maybe age 25, you have your first child. And then about age 27, 28, you have your second child before you hit 30. And then, you've lived in the life. And of course, during this whole process, you buy a home. Those were the big, huge things that were kind of ingrained in me, not just by my dad, but by society. But getting married and having kids, buying a home, and doing all of that in your 20s was really important. I mean, if you weren't married before 30, or actually if you weren't married before 25, and a lot of the folks would think, hey, wait, they haven't met their guy in college, well, who are they going to meet and when? Getting married at a certain age was really important. Nowadays, I don't think it is as much. There's not as much pressure on it. Okay, and then the other thing, which kind of goes along with it, so let's say you aren't married yet and you go to school, let's trade school, college, you graduate, you get a job. Then after that, you no longer live at home. You're kind of expected to move out on your own and rent a home, rent an apartment, either with a roommate or by yourself. And so I graduated college, and within 6 months, I had moved out. I moved from the St. Paul, Minneapolis area to Dallas, Texas in 1988. So that's why I graduated college in 87 and I moved to Dallas in 1988. But it was expected to move out. When I was growing up, you didn't live with your parents after you graduated school and got a job. You were out on your own, and that was a huge goal back then. I know a lot of people that are in their 20s and even 30s that aren't married, that are living at home with their parents for a variety of reasons. I think maybe one is the apartments are so much more expensive. When I moved out in 1988 to Dallas, I moved into a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. I know I've shared this with you guys before. 582 square foot. It was $300 a month in 1988. I know you could maybe get an apartment here in Dallas now for about $1,000 a month, but I'm going to say the average one's about $1,200. If somebody's only making, $2,500 a month, it would be hard to afford that. So moving out on your own, and then last but not least, retiring. That is the main goal, is retiring with a full pension from the company and having your Social Security. And of course, obviously having everything paid off. That was a big deal to my dad too. Make sure you've got your savings, make sure you don't have debt, which I agree definitely with that. Don't have a house payment and have everything paid off. Now, because of all this, and my dad had a good job with a really fair wage and good benefits. Like when we could go to the doctor and dentist, I don't think my dad paid anything unless it was something specialized, but I don't remember us ever having to pay for all that. All of that came with the benefits from his job. So if you needed dental work, it wasn't something that you had to actually pay for because it was, paid through your union dues, from what I remember anyway. I may be mistaken on that, but I don't remember my dad ever complaining about medical. And then, also we were able, because of what my dad got paid and all the fabulous benefits that he had, we were able to live a frugal but yet very comfortable life. We never had to go without any dental, eye care, medical care, home repairs that were in need. If we needed a washer, dryer, anything like that, we could afford to get all of that because my dad had a good job with good pay and benefits. So because of that, my dad thought, okay, Dawn, you need to get a really good job with really excellent benefits that pay for everything for you and an excellent pension. So you start your work at age 22, you retire by the time no later than 62, and you're set for life. And that hasn't been the way it is. I'd love to know what you guys think. What old money rules do you think that maybe you learned either from your parents or relatives or other people that you really don't think are relevant for 2022? I'd like to hear from you in the comments below. That's all I have to say for now. I love you, I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.